Encouraging effective action for advancing and recognizing women.
Ending child marriage and valuing our girls is an absolute necessity if we are to take advantage of the future role that they will play in strengthening our continent and development.
Women's readiness to talk about their feelings and their strong social networks can help protect their mental health. That's why it's not good to be alone for too long.
Because I am building a business opportunity for everyone here, and it is a worthy proof that it is being very successful.
It is important for women to create their own financial independence. Women need to take control of their finances, and they cannot rely on anyone else to do that for them.
By the way, my name is Lydia Nomosei, and I'm in charge of organizing this event. And for the mobilization, I was in charge, which I'm really expecting a lot of women today, because it's only once a year we do celebrate our Women Day. So I'll be expecting young, youth, adults, old ladies. So, and we are expecting different countries. As you can see, we wake up early at 9, we was already here, the door was open, and we start to prepare ourselves, and we are waiting. I can't wait the ceremony to start, because it will be really lovely. And now there is one nun who just arrived, which is my friend. Her name is Clemence, and she's from Kenya. We go to the same church together, and she's one of our VIP. Karibu sana, karibu.
Nice to meet you.
Karibu, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Karibu sana, karibu.
Okay.
And I was blessed, I do speak a lot of language, by the way. So as Sister Clementine, I speak to her in Swahili, others in Kinyarwanda, French, Lingala a little bit, and the Ugandan, because of now all my friends are from Uganda. So our people have already started working early. And if you don't mind, I have to escort her because she's our VIP and academist with that. So thank you and welcome, and I'll get back to you in 30 minutes.
Liwisele Napoli tate Giali funa Napoli puma Giali funa Liwisele Napoli tate Giali funa Liwisele
I'm Tamara Dragazze. I wrote a book about Rwanda. I think I know quite a lot about Rwanda, but there's so much more to learn. It's a country that you can never learn enough. So the reason I've come today is to learn more, because women really have genuinely made such a difference, and for them it's such a difference, and the exceptional nature of Rwanda has transformed all imagery of women in Africa. So I'm really looking forward to today, because you can never know enough.
I'm Florence Kwatirisa. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I'm interested in the life in Rwanda because of two special people in my life. I've met Tamara, who's written a book about Rwanda, and my daughter has visited Rwanda. So I've heard stories about the country, and I'm interested to meet other women from that part of the world, because I'm inspired by what women have done in the world and are continuing to
welcome you to the second edition of International Women's Day conference organized by the Rwanda Sisterhood Association. We are greatly privileged to have the Commonwealth as collaborator with us, celebrating women and their achievements in the world today. We are greatly privileged to have in the House the Deputy Secretary, who has agreed to be our key speaker today. Will you please help me welcome Dr. Josephine Ojiambo. We also, in our midst, distinguished ladies, persons who have graced us with their presence today. Please help me thank our High Commissioner, who's not present today, but have his beautiful wife here, Mrs. Deodie Nkurunziza. We thank His Excellency for the support that he's shown the sisterhood from day one.
and up to now, and to the women in general here in the United Kingdom. We are greatly honored to have the head of the Human Rights at the Commonwealth Secretariat, Advocate Karen Mackenzie. Our distinguished guest speakers, Mrs. Sandra Godley, Mr. Joel van der Molen, and Mr. Joshua Katia. Also with us, we have High Commissioners and Ambassadors accredited in the United Kingdom, their spouses, their wives. We have Vienna Chu, elderly mothers. And to you all ladies who are here, you look very beautiful. We are pleased to have you today, and I hope you enjoy your day. It is your day. To start off with the day, I would like to welcome you with a warm, entertaining group. This is a young generation. They are modern dancers. They have certain azonto moves. I believe the young ones, you could know them. These are called the GTF. Now, I would like to give a moment to the founder, Mrs. Gothi, to come and present them. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mrs. Ngoma. We were invited here and we are very grateful. We are called Gifted and Talented Foundation Africa. Our aspiration really is to inspire young people achieve their potential, not only in academics but other talents. Today we just have a sample. Actually, our invitation here was through Commonwealth, and we thank you very much, the Commonwealth Secretariat. Without wasting much time, I want us to focus on the fact that young people who may be A-star students, the ones you are going to see here, are from primary school and secondary school. We have a group of 3 who are from primary school. They are talented and they are gifted. It doesn't mean dancing, you are not talented, you are not gifted. You are going to have a sample from Conisborough College School, which is a group of 3 students from year 7. Without wasting much time, I would like to invite the group from the primary school, Gifted and Talented Foundation Africa. Will you please come forward? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's getting greater.
I told you I got you. It's DJ Towers. If you're on Vibe or Instagram, well, you know the rest.
Okay, ladies, I want to see you back. Let's go! Rock, slide, twist, 1, 2, 3, go left, back, right, back, up, back, down, back, go. Watch out for the big girls. Now bang, 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 rotate for me, ain't something like ladies, one drop to this. One drop, ladies, one drop to this.
I would like to introduce one of our sisterhood members, Agnes. Could you please come and give us a prayer for the day? Thank you. She'll pray in Kinyarwanda and I will do the translation as much as I can. Thank you. Let's close our eyes and pray. Thank you, God, for bringing us to this beautiful day.
turagushimiye mwami.
We thank you, God,
kubw'uyu munsi mwiza waduhaye.
for this beautiful day that you've given us.
Mana turagushimiye ibikorwa byose bigiye gukorwa uno munsi.
God, you put in hands all the entertainment or the ceremony that are going to follow today.
Mwami abakobwa bawe babone umugisha uruturukaho wo kunezerwa.
God, bless every woman in this house, your daughters.
Bakuboneho umugisha wo kunezerwa no kwishima.
Let them get the blessings of happiness and joy.
Mwami turagushimiye ibiryo amafunguro yose tubifate uno munsi.
God, you put in hands every beverages, food, or anything that we're going to have today.
Ababyeyi bari buvugane natwe uno munsi.
Our speakers of the day.
Mwami byose tubihabwe umugisha uturuka.
God, let us get blessings from you.
Turabigushimiye tubicishije mu izina ry'Umwana Yesu Kristo.
We thank you, God, and we put it in your hands. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Today is the day that we celebrate womanhood and the achievements that have been attained despite all the obstacles that we as women go through. I would like to introduce to you our president, the Sisterhood's president, Mrs. Souvenir Mutesi. Please have the stage.
Thank you very much. You're doing a great job. I would like to thank everybody that is here today for your time, your commitment. But most of it all, I would like to thank the team from the Commonwealth that they've taken us into consideration under their wings. That's why we're here today. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the delegate, the speakers, especially the keynote speaker, Josephine Ojambo. Thank you very much for your time and commitment. I would also want to thank our dear sister, Advocate Helen Mackenzie, who is here with us today. Thank you very much for your commitment. Not forgetting our dear lovely sister. Despite the position she's in, she's rubbed shoulders with us, and her commitment, her mentoring, her dedication, our dear patron, Leonie Muranziza. I would like to thank Joel Van Moon and Joshua. You're welcome. Thank you very much for your time. Our dear sister, Sandra Godley. You're welcome. And also the ladies from the High Commission. We have people from Burundi, we have people from Mozambique, we have people from Zimbabwe, we have people from Ethiopia, we have people from Uganda, we have people from Kenya, and so on. You're welcome. Let me not forget the reason why we're here today. The significance of International Women's Day. You're here because you're committed to the cause. And you're here because you want to embrace who you are. And you believe in what you are and what you're capable of. Thank you very much. The deep significance of International Women's Day is the Civil Awareness Day, Women and Girls Day, Anti-Sexism Day, Anti-Discrimination Day. It's a combination of all those things. I'll start by addressing the decision making. In the civil awareness, if women don't have position in decision making, things go wrong. I'm here and I'm proud to say I'm a Rwandan for the reasons I'm going to outline below. Rwanda has achieved a lot in far as putting in place laws, policies that have resulted in increased participation of women in decision making. Good governance in Rwanda has brought about real change that is so evident. For instance, women constitute of 50% of the judiciary, 39% of the cabinet, 40% in provincial governance, 43.2% of the district council membership, and 83.3% of vice mayors in charge of social affairs. As you are aware, Rwanda has experienced something that has shaken us deeply: the genocide. To have 83.3% of civic mayors in charge of social affairs is a big step for women, and we should all do that. Today, Rwanda has led the world in terms of women representation in parliament, increasing from 56.3% in 2008 to 64% in 2013 election. That's a big achievement. However, there are challenges. The challenges women and girls face today are still there. Women still constitute the majority of the poor, with about 47% of women-headed households poor, compared to 44% national average. This year's theme is to make it happen, what we've called the art of making money. A theme aimed at encouraging effective action for advancing and recognizing women. We do need to make it happen in the workplaces where women still earn less than men, in the offices where women are rarely promoted, in the countries where women are regularly sexually abused and forced into marriages at a young age, and for the girls who are still forced to undergo female genital mutilation. Women are also predominantly employed in low-paid jobs compared to men, and continue to be a burden of unpaid care and household work, which limits their involvement in productive activities. thereby reducing their income levels and pushing them deeper into poverty. When this is a quote, and it goes like this: when we unleash the power of women, we can secure their future all, says the Secretary General Ben Ki-moon in his message for International Women's Day. Men recognize this. They recognize the power in us. They recognize what we can achieve. But ladies here today, we do not need men to unleash us. We can set ourselves free.
Yes.
My belief is that women hold more power when we don't, women hold more power. We won't be changed by that power, but we should change the nature of it. Yet too often, we undergrade our ambitions because they seem so well too ambitious. And this creates the fear of the unknown. This is the reality that we must really aim high and set our goals low, because the worst we can do to ourselves is set our goals low. So please, ladies, you're welcome. Enjoy and ponder on the words from the keynote speakers. Thank you very much.
And it's an encouragement for all of us. We thank you. Our next speaker is our keynote speaker today. This is Dr. Josephine Ojiambo. I'll tell you more about her. Dr. Josephine is our newly appointed Deputy Secretary General at the Commonwealth Secretariat, overseeing political, human rights, rule of law, and communication work. She comes from the Secretariat from the United Nations Population Fund, where she served as the Chief Executive in the UNFP Board and External Relations Branch. Previously, she served as an ambassador and deputy parliament representative of Kenya at the United Nations. Dr. Ojiambo, being a medical physician, has long history serving her country as a politician. Dr. Ojiambo is dedicated into equity in social development, and she brings to this conference knowledge, experience gained from over 25 years of work in international relations, diplomacy, governance, and policy advocacy. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Josephine Ojiambo.
Before I read my formal address, I just want to share the joy of tomorrow's International Women's Day with you. And I think the way to do it is just for us to greet and acknowledge each other. So, I mean, we could do it very easily and just say, Happy Women's Day. So let's do that.
Happy Women's Day!
I want us to celebrate one another. And the way to do it really is because we are women of such diverse backgrounds, diverse origins, diversity in what we do. I just want to ask us to say hello in as many languages as we can. I'll try and help us. Yes. So I'll try and help us. All right, I can hear it here. Okay, now I want to greet you in my language. I want to greet you in my language. Jambo. Jambo. Bonjour. Bonjour. Muraho. Muraho. Sawubona. And there must be others, but women, happy Women's Day. Before I get to my formal text, you know those young girls who danced for us? I think we need to give them one more round of applause. We heard from our dear sister who spoke from the Rwanda Sisterhood Association about the post-2015. She mentioned it. And you know, the whole world is thinking now at what's going to happen after 2015. In Africa, we're thinking about the agenda of 2063. And there are others that are thinking about this year celebrating Beijing again, 20 years later. And everybody's looking to the future. But I want us to realize that all of us were girls. I'm sure all of us were girls. Am I right? Were we all girls? Yes. All right. So if we were all girls, I want to give the men a title. Let's call them honorary women. So having the experience of being girls, I want you to know that the future that we are all crafting today will have the face of a girl who is aged 16. That future in the post-2015, post-2063, whatever it is, has the image of those young girls who are dancing here. They are the custodians, well, they are the ones for whom we are writing that future. We might be the custodians today, but they are the owners of that future. So remember that whatever you do, it's not about us, it's about them. And then I want us also to think a little bit about what the Rwanda Sisterhood Association is doing, and just one or two words to say, first of all, commendations, but also that it's important that although we come from different places, that when together, we are what we would call each other's keeper. You are your sister's keeper. It's important that we recognize that while here, away from home, whatever happens to your sister could happen to you. So apart from meeting here, make sure you take whatever you learn away and that you continue to reach out to each other. This is a forum to energize you, but please continue the sisterhood outside that door as you live your lives here. Yes. And so now I'm going to turn to my official text, and I really want to thank the team for making it possible too for us to be here, and I want to really acknowledge both Karen and her team as I read. So once again, good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, and colleagues. You've heard my names are Josephine Ojambo, and I'm pleased, indeed very pleased, to be delivering this keynote address at this conference. I'd like to thank Rwanda Sisters Association, and in particular my dear sister, Leonia Nkuruziza, for inviting me to participate. Thank you. Please take home our very warm greeting to High Commissioner and wish him well as he travels in Rwanda. Human rights and gender equality are among the core values of the Commonwealth. And this is recognized in what we call the Commonwealth Charter. The Charter also emphasizes the importance of young people and the role of civil society and organizations such as Rwanda Sisters Association in the Commonwealth. Bearing in mind these commitments made in the Commonwealth Charter and the theme of this conference, which is the role of women in changing economies, I'd like to focus my address on one of the critical challenges we face in realizing the full potential of women in these changing economies. This challenge is about eliminating early and forced marriage. Since the International Conference on Population and Development, which was held in Cairo, in Africa, in 1994, the world's population has grown. It's grown from 5.7 billion to 7.2 billion, with 3/4 of this growth occurring in Asia and in Africa. Now, as the world grew in numbers, so did economies grow. Economies grew worldwide and continued to expand, and economies in Africa continued to develop. Africa is now poised to become a leading player in global development. For those of you who read The Economist or listen to some of the financial reviews, you must have heard Africa is now called the continent rising, Africa rising. Yes. The current treatment of women and girls in the Commonwealth and the opportunities created for them to thrive, therefore, have serious implications on the measure of our collective success. It is thus imperative that we challenge harmful traditions and practices that continue to prevail in our societies, which form a constrictive barrier to the equal participation of women and girls. And now when I speak to what the harmful practices are, I think each one of you knows them. You can count them. You can count them on the 10 fingers of your hands. You know them. They are traditions about food, about where women can do, about what women can do, what women can wear, traditions about how women can articulate themselves, about marriage, about inheritance. There's lots of tradition. But let's focus on those traditions and early and forced marriage. Early and forced marriage poses a serious challenge to the development and human rights of children and young people, especially our girls. According to the United Nations Population Fund, if child marriage trends are to continue worldwide, 142 million girls will be married in the next decade. Now, I don't know if you can imagine 100 million, because I can't. I've never counted that far. But 142 million? This translates into an average of 14.2 million girls who will be married off every year. It's estimated that by the year 2030, the number of girls who will be married off will rise to 15.1 million a year if nothing is done to end child marriage in this generation. So we have work for us cut out. Although early and forced marriage takes place all over the world, there are much higher incidence rates in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Many of us sitting in this room come from Sub-Saharan Africa. It's really a challenge for us. Early and forced marriage constitutes a serious human rights concern in the Commonwealth, as out of 14 million girls who are married each year, 7 million such girls reside in the Commonwealth. Although the minimum legal age at marriage without parental consent is 18 years or higher, many young women are married off as girls, and rural girls are twice as likely to be married off. I just want to think with you there. We know that we have laws that say girls should not be married off until 18 years, yes? And that the minimum age of marriage without parental consent is 18. But I know we read of situations where girls are married off at 12, where parents have consented long before and bride price was paid for these girls to be married off. And I'm not talking about things you don't know. It happens in our setting in Sub-Saharan Africa, and it happens a lot in rural areas. The impacts of early and forced marriage on the human rights of individuals and communities are wide-ranging and vary across geographic, socioeconomic, and cultural regions. Despite this variance, it is widely acknowledged that early and forced marriage has an impact on the right to education, on the right to health and reproductive rights, and on the right to be free from violence. And now I'm going to tell you why. The removal of children from education in order to prepare for or enter into such a marriage severely impacts upon further intellectual, social, sexual, and self-awareness development. These are requisites for participation in a larger community or society. In my country, Kenya, female genital mutilation is used as a preparation for young girls to enter into adulthood and get married. When a girl is taken through this ritual, very rarely does she go back to school. Not only does it have physical effects on the girl, it has mental effects. But it not only does that, it promises a life where childbirth and even sexual relations with her spouse become painful experiences, sometimes ending in further health consequences, which might stigmatize the woman and take her away from her society. These are some of the traditional preparations women undergo for marriage. I speak of that just to let you know that it's these customs that sometimes remove our children from education. So not only does forced removal from schooling result in the loss of crucial educational qualifications, which is a requirement for income earning to support the girl and her family, it deprives the child of self-authorship and a sense of autonomy crucial for independence within personal, professional, and sexual relationships. Early and forced marriage produces a violent cycle of loss of agency within adolescent sexuality as a right of the individual to the enjoyment of safe and consensual sexual relations, the capacity to bear healthy children, and the choice to become pregnant are significantly compromised. Children within these marriages are frequently subjected to traumatic and non-consensual sexual experiences. In this regard, related pregnancy and childbirth risks increase. And they include the risk of death during labor, the increased risk of premature labor, complications during delivery, low birth weight to the child that she will bear, and increased infant mortality. Now, I'll not leave the podium without explaining that. As you heard, I am a physician, so let me take a little moment there. Young girls do not have the girth here to carry children. And so, when they enter not only into pregnancy, but eventually into childbirth, because they can't carry the child, oftentimes the child is born early. This is what we call premature labor. But for a young girl who perhaps cannot tell her parents that I am expecting, she may not be enrolled into a health clinic to monitor her health during pregnancy. So usually she's rushed to hospital when labor begins. And with that and the complication of a very small and tight pelvis, there are complications during delivery. Many times the baby is pulled out of the womb. You know, very many times when that happens, the children are born with malformations, but also the labor is painful to the woman. If the child actually comes to full term, usually that child has health complications. But more often, for a young girl who hasn't eaten well, the child will be born small. That's what we call the low birth weight. But in all those settings, it's actually very difficult for this unborn child to be born healthy and to survive. So we usually have increased child death at birth, or what we are calling infant mortality. Of about the 16 million adolescent girls who give birth every year, about 90% are already married. Believe me. What does that say about the parents? What does it say about society? Why are we marrying off our young girls? And girls who are married young are also more vulnerable to sexually transmitted infections, including HIV and AIDS, since their husbands have had or still have other partners. Because as you know, if the girl is 12, 14, maybe 16, probably she's being married off to a 30, 40, sometimes 50-year-old. That person has already had other partners and has a longer history of sexual intercourse. HIV/AIDS, particularly in Southern Africa, has the face of a young girl. Early and forced marriage is also frequently linked with incidents of sustained domestic abuse within the marital unit, which can additionally result in divorce and further marginalization of the individual. Divorce or abandonment in many incidents exacerbates the social, professional, and economic marginalization of girls and women. And so Rwanda Sisters Association, I know you have your mandate, but I hope you're taking care of those women who do not have a spouse but have children for the many reasons that one I have mentioned and others. There may be reasons where a spouse was lost due to conflict at home, or a spouse has been lost due to ill health, but maybe the young lady got married and wasn't able to sustain a household. So I want to challenge Rwanda sisters, look into this issue too. While the causes of early and forced marriage are complex, interrelated, and dependent on individual circumstances and context, the main factors include practices related to gender inequality, poverty, resulting in the perception that girls are burdens that must be eradicated. And I think many of you know that in some settings people say, oh, I have to get rid of my girls, let me marry them off. Let me marry them off and receive the bride price. The South Africans call it the lobola. Let me get my lobola. Yeah? Also, traditional and religious practices that place a value on honor, virginity, and marriage as a means of preventing immoral behavior. If you've been reading the press, we've heard of so many young women in Asia who, having been married off or maybe raped, have taken their own lives. Weak laws and or the lack of knowledge of local laws and conflicts and disasters that increase economic pressures on households also end up in early and forced marriage. Now I'll turn to the Commonwealth. I hope you're still with me.
Yes.
Okay. When I was a bit younger, in between I would say, now let's get up and do a jig. And everybody was dancing. I'll save you that until the end. So turning to the Commonwealth, its role and contribution to the elimination of this scourge of early marriage. The Commonwealth Plan of Action for Gender Equality in the period 2005 to 15 recognizes that harmful practices such as early and forced marriage violate the fundamental human rights of women and girls within Commonwealth countries and are to be eliminated as a matter of urgency. So it's high priority for us. In 2013, Commonwealth heads of government issued a strengthened commitment when they recognized that early and forced marriage poses a serious challenge to the development and human rights of children and young people. Participants at the Commonwealth Roundtable held in 2013 noted that women and girls are at greater risk of early and forced marriage due to gender inequalities, age, discriminatory practices, poverty, cultural practices, disabilities, and please let me just stop there, disability. Disability is something that is really not only a difficulty for society, but for the individual. Many disabled young girls are given away early and forced into marriage. Ethnicity, low literacy levels, and schools with poor physical accessibility due to distance, all of these are a greater risk when you're talking about early and forced marriage. Other contributing factors to early and forced marriage include instability from conflict. And I know our sisters from Rwanda and Burundi will tell us that because of conflict, many young girls in their settings have been married off early. Due to disaster, due to humanitarian crisis, and I think those from Somalia and a little bit from Sudan will say that where you have disasters, whether it is hunger and drought, famine, or civil war, girls are married off early, and displacement. It was felt that for prevention strategies to be effective, the problem needs to be addressed at all levels, from the government to community-based organizations and families. Participants at this roundtable also recognize the crucial role of civil society in developing advocacy strategies, including public advocacy through the media. Our brothers who are here, we're looking at you taking our message out. We're busy there. Awareness raising on the negative impact of early and forced marriage and dissemination of information on service providers for victims. At the civil society and individual level, I'm hoping that you are now asking yourselves as you listen to me, what role I can play or you can play in ending early and forced marriage. And I have some responses for you. My response to you would be to consider some of the following practical actions. And now, ladies, please note the ones that you're going to take home today. 1, you can create alliances at community level to challenge harmful traditions and to educate members of the community on the value of gender equality. Have you heard of the He for She campaign?
Yes.
Google it. It has lots of tips on what you can do at household and community level to address gender equality. Another action, call for laws that make it compulsory for children under the age of 16 to stay in school. Many of you have the ear of people who can change policy in your countries. Let them go and speak with legislators to change the law so that girls stay in school, at least up to the age of 16. Support vulnerable women and girls to access and complete primary school. Support them to transition to secondary school and complete their secondary school education. Nowadays we speak of universal primary education and our girls are being enrolled. But are they finishing? Are they going to secondary school? This is what you need to do, support them. Call on governments to review and amend all the laws that promote unequal access to opportunities. Some of these laws are in the banking sector. Sometimes you're asked as a woman to bring a title deed before you get a loan. In my setting, women don't have title deeds. By culture, women were not supposed to own land. If they do now, it's because we've reviewed our constitution. But there are some cultures that still hold on that. How can you enforce laws and amend and give laws to your communities to allow women to access both finance but other opportunities? Call on governments to make it illegal for marriage under the age of 18 to take place in any form of law in your countries. Join worldwide campaigns such as the UNFPA's Action for Adolescent Girls program to empower girls to know their human rights. I did work for UNFPA and I do support this. Do join the program to empower girls to know their human rights and the various opportunities that will enable them to play their role in today's changing economies. A little moment there. Teaching girls about their human rights is not telling them to do things that we all have a moral value about. It's actually just telling them what the law allows them to do and giving them an understanding that responsibility goes with education. And you as a parent are the first teacher to your child. Don't delegate that to the school or to the community or to the television. Do it yourself. And most importantly, reflect on your own individual perceptions and attitudes about girls and boys by placing equal value on and prioritizing both genders, starting in your own house, in your schools, and in your social circles. I'm looking forward to visiting homes where I can find young boys in the kitchen.
Yes.
You know, we do like it as something in our minds, but sometimes when we go home, we keep saying to our young girls, please come, you must learn how to cook. Indeed, they should learn how to cook, but so should your boys. Yes, okay. So I'm looking forward to that. And I will invite you to come and see my son cook. He's the best cook in our home. As we commemorate International Women's Day 2015, let's remember there are millions of women and girls who remain voiceless, and that you and I have the moral responsibility to make a contribution to humanity through being their voice, through collaboration with others, through advocacy efforts with your own governments, your parliaments, and national human rights commissions. On the issue of national human rights commissions, I'd love if you can take time over lunch and speak to Karen. She has a wealth of resources on how to engage with human rights commissions. There are young girls here, and I'm sure some of them want to be lawyers. I want to ask you to take time out and speak to Karen. The Commonwealth Secretariat stands ready to further strengthen your awareness on this issue, to place you in touch with relevant networks who are practitioners in the field, and to share with you the good practices that are making a difference to the elimination of this harmful practice. And on the other side, with glasses in the back, is a colleague from the Commonwealth Secretariat. Put up your hand, Kenny. Kemi has a mandate for the issues of gender equity at the Commonwealth. Please engage with her too on things that you can do together. So on my left-hand side is Karen. Please put up your hand. I don't know if you can see it. And on the right is Kemi. I conclude with the words of one of our famous African women, Gracia Machel. Gracia said, "How we treat our children and youth today will be the measure of our success tomorrow." Child marriage and the denial to access education for these young girls becomes a greater loss to families, communities, our economies, and to the rest of our continent. Ending child marriage and valuing our girls is an absolute necessity if we are to take advantage of the future role that they will play in strengthening our continent and development. Let us forge a new tradition in which we create opportunities for girls, ensuring that they are equipped and enabled to partake fully in the development of our continent so that we can bolster Africa's growth, unlock its potential, and secure a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable future for Africa's future generations. I thank you.
Okay. Please give another round of applause. Would like to invite Mrs. Leonie Nziza to present you with a small token from us.
I just wanted to make one observation, if I may, Doctor.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you're hearing me, please. Doctor, it seems to me that all the things you have said, especially in terms of girls, hello. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes, I don't need this. Is that it is the circumstances that Africans or people in the third world find themselves in economically, that we have to marry off those children when they are young because, they bring in money. So I think we should hold our governments accountable and ask them to improve the lives of the people if these things have to stop. That is my only comment I wanted to make.
If you want me to respond to that.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I want to affirm you, Leonia. I want to say that indeed we need to hold our governments accountable. And do you know who is best able to hold governments accountable? It's civil society. So you have a role as Rwanda Sisterhood Association to hold your government accountable. Another role you have in holding the government accountable is being able to speak individually to members of parliament who you know are not only supporters of gender equality, but are activists within parliament for the same. Single them out and make them champions, so that when they speak, you applaud them from outside, so that they can carry this burden forward and then pass laws in parliament that will affirm not only women, but will eradicate poverty.
Please, Mrs. Leonie, would you like to come and present our guest, please?
I will.
Thank you.
We have a small token of appreciation for coming to talk to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, ladies and of course, gentlemen, if I was wondering, I'm sure we've just heard such a great speech. Please, I'm sure you're all eager to give out your point of views, your questions, or any recommendation you would like to make at this point to what our Dr. Josephine just said. We have microphones around the room.
In most of the rural countries, or rural parts of a country that you made reference to, if the girls are under the age of consent, who's speaking on their behalf and their parents are basically pawning them off to these individuals for marriage? I think the parent has to be held accountable before the governments can be held accountable.
Indeed, parents are accountable. How do we reach the parents? We reach them through community groups, through associations such as yourselves, Remember we talked about you being the voice for the voiceless? We're going to ask you as parents to educate other parents. We also reach them, and governments reach them through outreach. Government departments have outreach through what we call home affairs, through children's affairs ministries, through local leadership. All of these reach out to the parents. And indeed, in several governments where laws are in place, those parents who violate the laws are taken up by the legal system at whatever level and asked to explain and account for their laws. It happens even here in the United Kingdom. Parents are asked to account for why they have abused their children. And in other settings, parents are asked to account why children are being, for example, inducted into forced labor and taken away from school. So there's a lot of mechanisms for asking for accountability from parents. But the most important is that even though legal structures or laws are in place, it's important to educate, to empower parents with the right knowledge about their role as guardians for the future of their children. So that even as you enforce law when there's a willful departure from what is legal. So where parents know no better, you must educate them. But once they know, you hold them accountable. So it's dual. One, educate them, and then two, hold them accountable.
There is a lady in front.
My name is Leah Chishugi, and to be here and to hear what you speak about the women and us and our young lady who are suffering really around the world in Africa. It's really a great pleasure to know that so many women now are standing and helping our young ones around. And my question was, how is it, how can we, what for example me, because I also have a charity that helps women around the world, and how can actually my charity will be able to help and to stop this child labor, that women labor are happening in our continent. Yes, indeed, it's once you help one or you educate one woman, you are educating almost the whole community. And it's I'm actually glad and happy to see that women around the world and all these women are here today, they can hear and understanding the suffering of our young ones. And yes, parents can help indeed, but if there is any way, assist in this endeavor yes. to help around. So please help for making me understand how to do this.
Yeah, my name is Margaret Lesuga, Chancellor of the Kenya High Commission, and I want to thank our keynote speaker and also to thank Pioneer, my neighbor, and also my friend for inviting me. Now we are here to support you, to celebrate with you. I'm happy also our High Commissioner spouse has just arrived. Mine is, I don't know, it's an observation, but also request Commonwealth to also consider the voice of the child. At one time, I think it was Save the Children Canada came up with a very interesting program, and I wish Commonwealth could also spearhead this, where the child's voice changes things in the community. Our daughters, it's very important. But let us also give them a voice to communicate. We saw how the young ones who came here today, how talented they are. Some of them can talk. The way Malala is talking and changing the world. If we could identify the many Malalas in every region and empower them to be ambassadors to go round and change, I believe that can happen. So the voice of the child to me. The other one is the role of the diaspora. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today, we are talking, we are celebrating. But today, 10 or 20 girls are getting married in your village. What is your role, even as you sit in UK and enjoy, possibly, I would say, the rights of the child here? They are protected by the laws. What is our role in giving back to the community? I want to challenge the young people, because many of them are here today. They have listened to our great speakers. They are also going to listen to more and more speakers, and they are educated to the highest level. As an educationist, because one of my roles is to stop this idea of diaspora people only being seen as remittance of money and not remittance of knowledge. All of us in the diaspora would remit the knowledge that you have, the talents, back to the communities. Organize our young people and send even 2, we can even sponsor 2 back to the village. Tell them, go and talk about girls' rights. Go and talk about, we don't want to, in some areas we are even talking about boys' rights, because some boys are also. But for now, I think girls' rights is still prevalent. So that they stop seeing you, because me, I'm going back to Kenya, possibly next year. But you or some of you are remaining here. They stop seeing you, the government stop seeing you as just remitting money. Yes, it's important. But how about the knowledge? How about the young people who can give back to the community? Let us think in those terms and let us not just talk. We want action from you in the diaspora. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Florence and I'm from Zimbabwe. The reason I came to this function is because I was invited by a good friend who's lived in Rwanda. And I'm coming from Zimbabwe. My neighbor in the UK could be from Rwanda. Yes. But because I do not know the practices of the Rwandan people, I'm unable to help where I could help as an African woman. My challenge to us within the diaspora is, what are we doing as women to work in partnerships as African women for the child that we are trying to promote today, for the future that we are trying to advocate today? Are we starting with the grassroots? We are the voice that should be speaking out. But we are looking at situations in our neighborhood and we cannot do anything about it. So I thought my participation in this, where I would meet people from other places within Africa, could be a little voice that will bring something to the table, and then from there we can work in partnerships. You know my culture, I know your culture, and together we can work together for the future.
Thank you very much for that set of questions. Some of the questions I will, or the comments I'll respond to, and others I'm going to ask Leonia and her team, as Rwanda Sisterhood Association, to take up as your own challenges for your own agenda. And so the young sister who asked about what her individual charity could do, I'm delighted with that question because it means that the call to action in the last part of my remarks has touched you. You feel that you have an individual need to respond. You want to respond with your charity. And you know what? She's speaking on behalf of many of you who are quiet here. I know many of you have charities and many of you as individuals want to do something. Yes. And I'm delighted. Yes. And so what I'm going to say is, one, these things must be done in a manner where they are organized and they can, over time, prove they have made an impact. So in order to do them, the first thing is, I would like to say that again, Rwanda Sisterhood Association would after this, sit down, ask those who want to volunteer within your association, put their thoughts together so that what you do isn't haphazard or ad hoc, but has the benefit of numbers, presence, and office. That's one. Okay? So I would encourage you to do it together. If you can do it together, but indeed in different parts of Rwanda, that's fine. But organize yourselves. For those who already have charities that are registered and that can operate in Africa or elsewhere, then really all you're going to do is continue to not only seek Commonwealth support, but seek the support of other donors and development partners in the region. Those go beyond the Commonwealth. There are other agencies. You have the UN with its various offices, you have DFID, you have others. Reach out to them. Tell them about your project and get going. But the thing is, today, take a thematic area. If you want to take ending enforced marriage, ending early marriage, do that, and then move forward. Advocacy, services, education, move forward. Margaret, my dear sister, and the ladies whom I've seen come from the High Commission, I just want to say habari yenu. You see, there are more to say hello to you than myself. I want to welcome your 2 challenges. And I want to say a little bit about what the Commonwealth is doing. And hey, you know, the gurus from the Commonwealth are here. Yes. On one side I have Karen, on the other side I have Kemi. We acknowledge young people. In fact, this year the Commonwealth is talking about a young Commonwealth. We have a program for young people at the Commonwealth. And last week we actually acknowledged outstanding young people in the Commonwealth and had them brought here to London and gave them acknowledgement, appreciation, an award, a forum where we could share their achievement with the Commonwealth and with the globe. Last year, I hear Malala herself was there to give awards and appreciation to other youth. I mean, what better way than to have a young lady acknowledge others who are young like herself and tell them you're doing a good job. So there you are. We have Commonwealth Connects. The young today don't speak on the microphone. They use ICT to talk, and I tell you they're more effective on the ICT than they are at the public platform, where we think being physical is important. They are virtual and they make a lot of difference in their world. And it's a world we're learning to engage in. But we have Commonwealth Connects, and we want to build Commonwealth Connects with your support so it focuses more on young people. Engage with us on it. Where I fall short, Karen is there, Kemi is there to tell you about what we're doing for young people. On the issue of the diaspora, the challenge is back to yourselves and to Rwanda Sisterhood Association. I was once an ambassador of my country. When you are in that position, it is actually the sky that's the limit in terms of connecting your people to projects at home. But look, we have the spouse of the Kenyan High Commissioner here. We have the spouse of the Rwandese High Commissioner here. They will help you, and there are others. Yes, I haven't been introduced, but I know they're here, and there are other spouses. Speak with them. I'm sure they can help you to connect your project to resources that can take it back home. Into the future, the last issue, Rwanda Sisterhood Association, more forums. Convene more forums so that you can share the knowledge of what's important at home, how people can engage with your government, what it means to travel to Rwanda, what parts of the country they can work in, and the same with the sisters from all over sub-Saharan Africa. Have panels like this, have events, and celebrate your culture and your diversity, because in so doing, you'll invite other people to join you. And I want to underscore that. Don't be scared to be the individual you are. We've gone so far forward that my difference is only a joy to somebody else. And it's a difference that's not chauvinistic, it's a difference that actually not only, should I say, celebrates my diversity, but it celebrates yours. So please share. As women, don't be scared to say, I actually am Josephine. And I do come from a part of Kenya called Western Kenya. And there, the women are dying of HIV and AIDS. Because in those 3 sentences, there's a project.
Yes.
Share your diversity, celebrate it, and you'll find someone to help you along the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I was so impressed when you had a speech about young ladies who are forced to get into marriage at a young age, and I felt like you were talking about me. I had that same experience when I was forced to get into marriage when I was 17 years old, and I had to fight because I needed to go back into education. I had lived a lot, had gone through a lot, experiencing wars. I'm actually originally from Burundi, but I was born in Rwanda. I was raised in Rwanda, so everything that I know was about is about Rwanda. So, but because I had a very intellectual parents, which I'm glad for, they kept telling me that and educating me, preaching about the importance of education, that I had to put the education in front. So when I got forced into marriage, it was something which it was like a manipulation. They got advantage of my father, who liked education, and they manipulated him, that they wanted to help me to get into education, but those people who wanted to show them that they were really they wanted to help him, because we were in a miserable life. We had fled from Congo to Tanzania, so they wanted to show that they could do something to help him to put his children into education. But it was something that they wanted me they wanted a profit to put me into marriage. And then I was like, wait a second, I'm 17. I want to continue my education. I've been stopping in the middle my education because of running away. The wars didn't allow me to continue my education. So now you are, and then they just told me something which was very interesting to target young girls. They said, you know what, it's okay, we'll take you to Europe. I remember one day I told them, I'll take myself to Europe. So I refused. I said, I'm going back into education. I was with my young sister. I told her, you know what? Because they wanted us to stay in the grocery shops selling. And then I said, but last time I checked, I came from Tanzania to Zambia for education, not staying in the shop selling. I told my sister, I didn't know English. We were coming from French speaking, yeah. And then I told my sister, you know what, it's okay, stay in the shop, so that we could find, because we were staying in a hosting family, then we could, we could have been thrown away, which happened after when we became homeless. Anyway, it's okay. Let me just brief it. Let me just brief it, because I also wrote a book about my life story, even though it haven't yet been printed. Yeah, I'm still struggling to find the sponsor. Anyway, it's okay. But what I can say briefly is, when you educate your children, tell them, preach them about the importance of education, I'm telling you, they will listen to you, especially women. I've been raising my children. I've got 2 children alone as a young mom for almost 11 years. And oh, I feel proud of myself. Thanks so much. But what I can advise is to educate your children. Yes. Just tell them, show them the importance of education. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies, as you see, this is what the sisterhood is about. We empower each other, and together we do great work. As we're running short of schedule, we would like to go on with the program. If you may allow me, before we go for a short break, I would like to introduce our traditional dancers. Great. Now.
Hi, Ingrid, your host. I'm here with Miss Leah. Could you please tell us what you think of the event so far?
Well, I think the event was so wonderful. It's very good to see all these women, our mothers, our young one, and all the networking for all over the place. We have people from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. I see Zambian. I see all the women around the world gathering themselves together and talking about the problem that we have in our continent of Africa. And to see that the Rwanda's Sisterhood are supporting such a great event and hosting us today so we can gathering and talking about our problem and also celebrating Women's Day. It's such a beautiful day.
Happy Women's Day, by the way.
Happy Women's Day. It's so wonderful to see all these beautiful women smiling, leave their house so that we can come here and celebrate and encouraging each other and trying to find a solution about our continent, Africa. So happy Women's Day for everybody. Really.
Oh, thank you very much, Leah. And I hope you keep enjoying the whole day.
Well, I am enjoying so far, and we have all the wonderful women, the incredible speech, amazing people who are really telling us how to empowering our young ones and to ourselves as well. So it's really a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, Leah. Hiya, we have Maggie here. Please, Maggie, tell us about your experience today.
It is nice, especially when they talked about children, forced marriages. Wasn't forced to get married, but as a younger mom, they really touched me, and I felt that. For me, my question, I don't know if it was irrelevant, but I'll make my research. There are children back home who conceive, not because they are forced to get married, and they would love to have opportunity to go back to school, but the stigma behind it. And even then, when you want help, you can't help the child who you want to go back to school. The child she has, support the mother to support that child, which becomes so complicated. But when I look back as a young mom by then, if I had that opportunity of going back, complete my school, support to my mom, to support my child, those are the things I want like our government to do for young moms.
That is amazing, and I hope you take a lot from today. Thank you.
She's a mobile winner and a GEM award-winning artist. Now, she's going to speak about relationships. She's going to speak about building networks. How the people you have around you could affect you in a positive and negative way. Now, I believe all of us here will take a lot from her, sharing her experiences. And please, at the end, when she's done speaking, do ask her as many questions as you want. She's here for you. Please welcome Sandra Berkeley. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's afternoon, isn't it? Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here. I am on a flying visit. I've travelled from Coventry. Anyone heard of that city? Some of you are so locked into London, you don't know what's north of you. But Coventry is a great city, very close to Birmingham, and that's where I live at the moment. I'm a singer-songwriter. It's what I do full-time, but I'm also a radio presenter. I present 2 programs locally and 1 internationally, and I'm always looking for great guests. I've already earmarked 2 people. And that program goes out to around 40 countries across the world. I'm also a producer. I produced my first music show last night, and I was home at about 2 o'clock this morning. So I am living proof that life carries on at 50. Okay, that's where I'm at the moment. And my life is accelerating at a pace that is incredible. I do thank Leonia and Williams for inviting me here. You guys know us, we love you so much, and it's a real privilege to be here to just share a little bit about what I think helps us in managing relationships. Some of what I say will be humorous, some of it will be quite factual, but I literally have 20 minutes and then I'm flying out of here back to Coventry, where I'm going to be a judge this evening at a huge inter-school, 21 schools across our region, Coventry and Warwickshire, who are competing for a great title, and I'll be one of the judges. So this is the kind of thing that is opening up for me, and I want to encourage you ladies, do not stop, okay? Because when you walk through the door, that's when you have another door open. So it's when you're standing and look at the door thinking nothing ever happens to me. Look out for the door, and then opportunities happen, all right? Okay, so I'm going to whistle through what I consider to be the top tips in managing relationships in our daily lives. And when I looked at this topic, thank you very much, Ian, for giving me a difficult topic, it's so wide. But anyway, when I looked at it, I thought the first thing I need to acknowledge is that managing relationships is all about managing yourself first. Okay? So unless you're in a good state, in a good place in your life, it's very difficult to try and dictate or influence other people. So we do need to think about managing ourselves first. And I moved on from that and then kind of really thought that actually we need to be responsible for ourselves first, yes. And that we can't be all things to all people. Alright? So if we get that out now, just as a platform, you know, you're not Superwoman, you know, intended to have a close relationship with everybody that we meet. It's just some, okay? So let's get rid of some of the mysticism about relationships. You'll have a network of people that you walk your life through, but then there are other people that you'll have associations with. But all that is managing by you being managed yourself. So, here are my top tips. I hope you've got a pen. I'm just going to rattle through these just because of time. So the first thing I put down here, I'm talking really quickly, aren't I? To managing daily relationships is to prepare for your day. Don't stumble into your day. Ladies, we get up, we put our weave on, put the makeup on, well, I don't. Okay? You throw some food at the kids, you shout at your husband maybe, or you try and formulate your day by doing all sorts of different things, and you stumble into the day. Gets to about 12 o'clock and you think, what was I supposed to be doing today? I don't know. I want to encourage you not to stumble. Okay, let's stop falling into the day. Plan your day. And it might be something that you do from the night before. If you've got the energy, that's great. But at the beginning of the day, stop, all right, before you start. And just say, what do I want to achieve out of today? And think about the things, the tasks, and it might just be one thing that's crowded around other things you need to achieve. But actually, what's the one thing you need to achieve? Don't stumble, plan for your day. And I know that's more difficult than I'm saying, but we can do that. We can create that. And then the second top tip I've got is to think about people who you're going to come into contact each day and make them part of your plan. Okay, so there are going to be people coming into your lives every day that you just meet them maybe on the bus or whatever. But be deliberate about what you want to achieve that day. And you might think, this is really simple, but it has transformed my life. So in my daily routine, I think, on Thursday, whenever I want to meet Leonia, I'm going to make it happen. I have to diarise it. And I put everything in place to make sure it happens, so I'm not stumbling into another missed relationship or missed opportunity, okay? Is that helping? These are just being thrown at you. So think about the people you want to come into contact with that day. It could be your husband, you've not talked to him for years, your boyfriend, your children, or your co-workers, and make deliberate opportunities happen. You can do it, girls. And we're good at creating opportunities, all right? Point number 3, I'm rattling through these. You can't give out if you have nothing within you. All right, so part of your planning is, I want to connect with people. Some of you are queuing to see our wonderful host here. If you're going to make contact with her and you want to see her, how's that going to happen? And you've got to think she's a busy lady. And when I've dealt with people at your kind of level, I've realised when I approach them, I have to be very sharp. So if I'm trying to meet them and connect to them, I'll say, actually, these are the times I'm available. Okay? Yeah? This is what I can offer. And I make my script very, very short, because the more you open doors and the more opportunities that happen for you when you connect with other women, you've really now got to hone your language and think, what do I want to get out of this? So be more accurate. Don't stand and talk about your handbags, your hair, and all this kind of stuff when your time is limited with people. I'm saying this because I've been listening to the conversations of people who want to connect. So I'm thinking, okay, be more determined. What is it that you want to achieve out of your relationship? And in your day, when you're planning, think about, who do I want to connect with and how am I going to make that happen? Do I have long introductions and conversations, or do I just go in and just say, this is what I want to do with you? Can I achieve that with you? And I've done that. I talked to people who are ministers, directors, and just said, can I have some time with you? And this is what I'm available. Alright, so rattling through that. So make some priorities and work out what it is that you want to achieve from your day. You can't give out without having something within, was my point that I just raised there. Who's influenced you? What's going inside you each day? What are you reading? What are you listening to? And some of this might mean you need to change. Some of you come up to me and tell me you're authors, and I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing. What are you reading to influence you for your next book? If you're like me, you like singing, who are you listening to? Who's affecting what you think? And when you've actually got those answers, are they the right people to influence your life and your family? Okay, so really do think about that, ladies. What are you feeding yourself with? And also, when you're planning your day, think about what potential stresses are going to be lying ahead. Now, we all have a story. Probably a lot of you are here mothers as well, and maybe you run your own companies. And certainly, I'm sure you all have a journey and a story that you could share to influence people. But you can actually cut out some of the stresses potentially by planning your day. Yeah? If you know you've got a school run, I'm just trying to be practical here. If you know you've got a school run and you've got to achieve X, 25 million different things, it could be that maybe you need to change your direction to school. It may be that you need to think more creatively about what you do on your journey. It might be that when you're talking to your children, you give them instructions about what they need to be doing for the day. I'm making this really simple, and I've learned this in my whole life. Plate spinning, which is what we do, isn't it? The school run, thinking about dinner, thinking about all this kind of stuff, is great, but make sure you contextualise it and make sure that it has purpose. Because we're really great at running around and doing lots and lots of things, but actually, how purposeful are we being? All right, girls, is that okay?
Yeah.
You can actually, if you want to ask the question, you can do, because I might not have enough time at the end of it. So manage that really, really, really well. Point number 4. Manage your expectations of relationships. Some people are only in your life for a while. Don't try to hold on to them. And some people are there for the long haul. Equally, don't keep them out. How many of us have kicked some relationships out that actually maybe we should have held on to? I know I've done that, so I have to go back and say, actually, I do like you. You're alright. But a big adjustment in our lives as women is actually understanding how we relate to each other, and you can't be the best friend to everybody all at the same time. You just can't, can you? Unless someone's achieved that. So we need to manage that relationship and understand that some people just come in and they are a resource to you for that moment in time, and that's okay. You need to let them go. I'm a big culprit in just hanging on to people because I think they're lovely or whatever. And when they move on or they don't involve me in something in the future, I'm questioning it and I'm frustrated. But actually, they're just there for a moment. You just need to let them go. Just for 30 seconds, you might want to think about that. Think about someone that you know honestly, do you know what, I just need to let go of trying to own the time that I have with them. They're just here for a season. But equally, maybe think about people that you're looking to just walk away from, that actually God's put them in your life for the long haul, and they may be irritating, but they're the best thing in your life at the moment. Just think about that just for a moment. You got someone in mind? I can see you. I can see oh, this is awkward, isn't it? Yeah? Don't value people for only what they can do for you. Okay? Otherwise, we as ladies, we're good at doing stuff. I can do lots for you. But if my value is just that I sing at your events, a little bit shallow. I want real relationships. And in the relationships in your world, right, begin to think about valuing people not just for what they do. We're good at doing stuff as women, aren't we? But see beyond the skill, the gifting that they have. There's a real person behind that face, behind that smile. Value who they are. So that means asking about their life and showing some interest. Okay? If no investment in our relationship, then we are then left wondering why it wouldn't work and why it didn't work. And we do need to invest that time into that person that we're making friends with. And think about also the people who make you feel good. This is all part of your plan for your day and not stumbling in it. Who makes me feel good regularly? Spend some time with them. And that might seem like a simple, crazy thing to say, but often I just forget that. You know, avoid the people who cause you stress, but just involve in that day people who actually make you feel good, who are good for you. They leak into your life in a positive way. And then I'm going on to my next point, point 5. Enjoy spending time on your own. How many of us are good at that? Oh! Alright, okay. This is about managing ourselves. And when you enjoy the beauty of spending time with you, it's fantastic. And you refresh, you own who you are, you discover more things about yourself. And as women, I don't care what culture you come from, step out of your own culture and find other cultures that may just inspire you. Ooh. Well, it's true. So, let me tell you a little funny story. I am I'm West Indian, I'm not African, I'm really sorry. Just one of those things. Born in Jamaica, a few years ago I had the great opportunity to have a job working at Coventry Cathedral. I was head of events there, and my boss was Justin Welby. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's the head of the Church of England, so this is the guy that's my boss. Now you've got to imagine me, a raving Pentecostal Christian type woman, hat wearing, whatever, going into this Anglican world. And being challenged with the way they do things. No response when people talk. Well, we're not like that, are we, girls? But beautiful literary, beautiful ways of expressing their love to God. Wonderful emblems. And I had to just swap my hat for a while and decide, actually, do you know what, I'm going to try and understand another custom. And so now I have a little bit of the Anglican thing in me, which is very kind of straight and beautiful, but I'm also ready for the big challenge of big dance and a whoop and whatever, because that's who I am. But step out of your culture, okay, and find out something that might be of interest to you. Add all this richness to you, okay? So if you're from Burundi, go and meet somebody that's from Jamaica. Yeah, why not? You are allowed to do that. Are you going to do that today? Yeah, and expose yourselves to other cultures and become more rich. Alright, I'm working through this. Gosh. Alright, find positive things to say about people each day. This is part of your planning, okay? Let this be a default, alright? Let it be your default. So find something positive, and the way you say it can be as creative as you want it to be. It could be a text. Who writes letters anymore? Does anybody write a letter? No. Write a letter. Get back to writing letters. In fact, when I write now, my writing is so bad because I'm used to texting. So I need to go through that. Develop these habits, okay? They are so needed. You don't need to try and win every argument, even when you're right. Okay, ladies? I'm not going to go on with all that. You don't need, choose your battle. You don't need to win everything. There is dignity in saying, do you know what? I hear what you're saying. I know what you're saying, even though you're wrong. But I'm going to be dignified in this. All right. Learn the art of negotiating. Girls, you good at negotiating? What can I get by giving you what I have? And that's not selfish. That's just being wise. Okay. So learn the art. It's a skill. And if you don't know how to do it, then listen to politicians. Listen to people who are speakers in their own right and hear how they don't answer the question that was ever asked them. Yeah, but they negotiate the information that they want to pass on to you. Is this helping you? Yes. All right. Have people in your life who stimulate you intellectually, okay? I realised that a few years ago I had lots of girly friends that were great for socialising, and I could cook with them, I could do stuff with my kids with them, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't have anybody that was stimulating me intellectually. So who are the ladies that are educated, who are actually breaking the mould? Find them. Okay, there's some here today. Find them and just basically feed off them. They can be male or female. Okay, another point here. Hurt people, generally. Okay, and we need to know how to manage that. If you're coming from a place of hurt, and you all have a story, man, I know some of the stories, awful stories. We need to get to a place where we're healed, emotionally and physically, before we give out. Okay, because so much of the damage that often we give out is because we're hurting ourselves. Alright, I don't need to go into all the details of that. Moving on very, very quickly. One of the key areas that I think is a stumbling block for us as women, because I've talked some of the positive things there, is the area of sabotage. Okay, do you know what that word means? It's basically us as women putting obstacles, obstructions in our relationships. And I have to say I've lost a lot of relationships because I've self-sabotaged. Okay, so I want to read this to you. In fact, turn to each other and just say, I've written it down, I can be a little crazy sometimes. Just say that. Alright, every woman, we agree, don't we? Yeah? Well, let's get out. You need to agree that you can be a little bit crazy. It's fine. Give yourself permission that wacky way you think sometimes is okay. It's all part of your DNA. I want to read this to you. You girls are crazy. written by a lady who blogs on a website called Lipstick, Red Lipstick. She says, I have an amazing friend who's a total catch. Can you name someone in your life who's a total catch? She's smart, she's funny, and she has everything together. If she wasn't my best friend, I'd totally date her. But she's frequently single. Finding dates isn't easy, but keeping good relationships around is a different story. Last week, over drinks, my friend and I, we started to talk about the details of why her relationships never ever last. As a gorgeous woman, she constantly attracts great guys, but 3 to 4 weeks into the relationship, she starts to go a little crazy. If the man is interested and things are starting to really work out, she starts to push them away. Some of you are saying, yeah, I've got a friend like that. Her personal brand, listen, her personal brand of self-sabotage is nitpicking. She would tear apart the guy's career choices, the way he dressed, and his lackadaisical grammar in text messaging. Yeah, really? You don't think he's good for you because he forgot the Oxford comma? So this nitpicking would live inside her head until it didn't. She explained to me how she would hear herself say things to her new love interest that were completely unnecessary and downright mean. She couldn't stop herself. These guys obviously didn't stick around for long, and she would immediately start to pine after them, wondering why they left her in the first place. That's the textbook definition of self-sabotage. You look for them when they aren't around, and then you act crazy when they walk into the room. So you're addicted, some of us are like this, to the push and the pull. You see it, but you can't stop it. So the nitpicking that's been going off in your head suddenly becomes reality. You start to speak it out. Anyone hearing me on this one? Yeah! Oh, so here are some tips. Okay, I'm wrapping through this. This is how it starts. So we need to give our inner saboteur, I can say the word. Thank you, a voice. The voices in your head are much harder to deal with than your actual voice. Get that crazy onto paper or out into the real world, and it feels so much better to deal with. Literally say what you're thinking out loud. Do you dare do that? Oh, I know. Or if you're like me, the writer, write them down in an email and read it back to yourself so you can see where the crazy is coming from. It usually sounds as nuts as it actually is, and then you can actually realise that you just need to laugh it off. So we get this stuff going up in our heads, don't we? You might be thinking, she's nuts, or she's nuts, the speaker. But sometimes we speak it out and say, this is what I'm thinking. It sounds crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. And we just need to actually understand that we can stop those thought patterns. I'm talking about this because it's a real area in my life that a lot of stuff's going off in my head, I dare say, and I need to actually just basically stop doing that. So ladies, we are a little bit crazy. We do think strange ways, but we need to get it out onto paper or vocalise it to actually hear it and then put a stop to it. You going to commit to that? Yes. Yeah? Some crazy thoughts? Yes. Some crazy thoughts. We just need to stop them. We need to talk about it openly to friends as well. Your friends know that you're nuts and crazy. They don't always say it, but they know. They can see your faults, and often they will just try and protect you. But use your friend as a touch base and say, look, the way I'm thinking, is this normal? Is this the way it should be? And let them be a help for you. This is an important point, ladies. Stay present in the moment. Many people who experience self-sabotaging relationships talk about how they hear themselves saying things they never expected to say. They see themselves outside their body doing things that they wish they could stop.
Yes.
You get that, don't you? All right. So get back in your body. Be present for now. Don't allow habits and fear to take over, and that's what generally happens. Okay, even if it's weird and uncomfortable, make staying in the moment your priority. Now, there's one thing I'll leave with you is to say that. Stay in the moment. If you're here today, make the best of today. You're not thinking about 6 o'clock tonight or something tomorrow. There are people here you need to connect with. So stay in the moment. Don't go outside of the moment. Own your actions and don't allow yourself to make the same bad decisions over and over and over again. All right? Okay, I'm going to move on very quickly. There are other areas I want to talk about because these are really important. Some of the things that trip us up in our relationships are generally known within the whole world in terms of mental health. And I want us to understand that actually about a quarter of the population will experience some kind of mental health problem in the course of a year, with mixed anxiety and depression, and the most common disorder in Britain is that whole area of depression. Now I'm talking on this because it's something we don't always talk about as ladies, and I've talked about crazies and funny crazy, but there are so many ladies that I come into contact with who have real struggles and feel very low very often. And we as a network of people can help each other, can't we? And this is how we manage our relationship. We manage ourselves first before we try and give out. Depression affects 1 in 5 older people. Suicide rates show that British men are 3 times as likely to die by suicide than British women. And self-harm statistics for the UK, one of the highest rates in Europe, 400 per 100,000 people. Here's an interesting fact, only 1 in 10 prisoners has a known mental disorder. Mental health problems affect women and men equally, but some are more common among women, including abuse, etc. The same number of women and men experience mental health problems overall, but some problems are more common in women. Various social factors put women at greater risk of poor mental health than men. However, and this was echoed by a wonderful speaker, women's readiness to talk about their feelings and their strong social networks can help protect their mental health. That's why it's not good to be alone for too long. Okay? I want to leave that with you because a lot of what I've said has already been echoed already. We need each other. Okay? We're going to manage our relationships and manage ourselves first. We get the craziness out of our heads, but the social network like this is essential. We have to talk. If you're troubled today, talk to somebody. Yeah, talk. It's okay. No one's going to laugh at you. This is a safe place. And make this an expression of who you are. And from this place of strength, then you can give out and have strong, great relationships so we don't sabotage each other. All right? I'm done.
I would like to welcome our president, Souvenir of Sisterhood. Please come and present our guest this morning.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Sandra. You can't imagine how much of what she said actually will relate personally to me, but I'm sure to many of us here today. Her message was really touching, and it's good to always have a plan. And thank you again. Thanks. We'll move on to our next entertainment, and guess what we have in the house? We have drummers. Our neighboring country. Yes, and we have beautiful Burundi. Yes. Just right before it, as they're getting ready, as I mentioned earlier on, our High Commissioner, Mr. William Nkurunziza, could not make it today. Now, we have a small token for him to say thank you because most of the work that the Sisterhood does is through the High Commission of Rwanda, and with the good governance and his honorable, though he's not around, we would like to welcome you, Mr. O'Neill, to collect his token, please. I'll get Souvenir. Please, Mr. Souvenir, come and do the token as well.
Thank you. On my husband's behalf.
Thank you. Now, please, let's welcome the Burundi drummers.
bacu b'abahungu mwe mwaka bavyaye abahungu mw'abahosore mwe
I'd like to welcome our young poem. This is a young girl. She has a message for us. It's deep. She's one of the most humble girls I've probably come across. Please come on stage.
Hi, my name is Tara. I'll be doing a poem for you. It's called "What Makes a Woman" in theme of International Women's Day. What makes a woman? Is it the stains of her apron, the soft of her kiss recited like a prayer? Does she have arms that know too well the cold of lonely? Is a woman the still reflection of man? Ribs proof of parables, are we only domestics? Is a woman the 6 inches of a stiletto? The secrets of beauty grasped in a fist behind her back, different shapes, silhouettes. Is a woman defined by the stitching of her lingerie? The depth of her emotions, the soothing of her laugh, her ability to multitask. Are you women by passion, by sexy, the ability to melt belt off men, intellect, compassion, empathy, her 7-day bipolar? A personality sleek and slender that shapes your smile. A woman, the definition of divine, confidence and self-worth. Is a woman the fire of a raw soul broken with many instructions? What makes a woman? A woman has essence of creation that is answer and solution. She is made beautifully, beautifully made. You're wondering why you acquired absence of beauty and can never respect your soul, the same soul your Savior died for. Bound all sin on a cross, took lashes for your lashes and nails for your nails. He volunteered to die in a crucifixion, yet you still crucify yourself on the sunrise of an early Sunday morning. And you ask yourself, how could this sombre skin be the work of a king? Darling, you're beautiful, made not despite, but because of your flaws. Matter of fact, the things you call flaws are merely proof that you're human, and who cares if you question your worth? Stars still question the bright, rocks still question the hard, holes still question their depth, and just there I dug a grave for every voice that tells you you aren't worth it. Stop seeking comfort in arms that only seek to break you, breach you, pin you down and fill you. Take pride in who you are, the scars you wear, because after all the tears, honey, they'll still be there. So, what? Every lady needs a crown, so what? Doesn't matter if yours comes in repetitive lines, so what? Doesn't matter, yours came in repetitive lines. I've never stretched the truth, so mark my words, you're beautiful, you're divine, you're truth. What is a woman? A woman is art. Thank you.
That was a touching poem. Thank you again. I believe that was a strong message. We would like to give Sarah a small token, something to say thank you for sharing your message here today with us. Perfectly, we are. Thank you.
Certificate of performance. Thank you. Can we shake hands?
Please applause. As we go on, thanks again, Sarah. Without taking any further now, I would like to invite one of our speakers. Now, he's going to talk about one of the topics that are mostly interesting. This is entrepreneurship. We all need to learn how to make money. I believe, since I was young, I knew I had to learn how to make money. But it depends on how you go on about it. Now, he will tell us about what becoming an entrepreneurship. Many people think it's about making money, but it's about the freedom that comes with being an entrepreneur. Please help me welcome Mr. Joel van der Wal. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to be here on this special day and be given this platform to speak. Each year, International Women's Day is celebrated on the 8th of March. The first International Women's Day was held in 1911. Thousands of events occur to mark the economic, political and social achievements of women. God created man, took one look at him and said, I know I can do better than that, and created woman. That's it really, thank you. I know there's more than I was born and I grew up in southeast England. I had a fortunate middle-class upbringing. My father was an independent financial advisor and my mother was an entrepreneur when she was not too busy being a wife and mother. She had many different business ventures, including a multi-level marketing business, providing herbal products. My mother practiced good nutrition. When I was younger, there wasn't any sweets and chocolate in our house and my lunchbox was totally different to everyone else's in school. So as well as taking away some good health tips from my mum, I inherited her entrepreneurial spirit, her desire to help others, and her good looks. Well, I used to be good looking when I was younger, but they changed into what I call character today. I went to drama school. I've always had a passion for theatre and performance, and even though it wasn't the world of acting I was being prepared for, I feel the vocation of an actor prepared me for the business stage. I worked from bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant, trying to break into the world of acting, but the only work to show up was playing a pesto sauce for Jamie Oliver or a hamburger for Burger King. I was living in Shoreditch, East London, in a dilapidated flat share with 3 or 4 others, and it got to the point where I thought, enough is enough. I can't continue like this. I was looking around me at all the wealth being enjoyed by others, and I thought, what is so special about these people? What do they know that I don't? What is the missing piece? I'm worth more, I can do more, I'm better than this. It was at that, I decided right then that I was going to work it out. If I believed I was better, what was I going to do about it? Looking back and joining the pieces together, I am where I am because of the decision I made that day. If you want to be financially independent, if you want to change your life, change your situation, then you must commit to making a change. Anybody with ambition can achieve their dreams. Today can be the day that turns your life around. When people graduate from the school system in this country, they are not prepared to meet the challenges of the real world. They come out of school and go in search of a paycheck. This idea of a safe, secure job is an illusion. They come out of school going in search of a paycheck. If you go looking for a job, you become stuck, addicted to receiving a salary and dependent on a boss. The result is most people live out their lives doing something they're not really interested in. How many people do we know who go to a job they hate? They plod along and wait for the weekend. They are systematically prevented from finding their true way because of the process of education. The old models of making a living are no longer working, but we are still preparing people for a world of work that doesn't exist. This is very dangerous, and it rests with us to become aware of how the world really works and find our own way in the information age. Between 2008 and 2014, statistics show employment is being driven by self-employment. 4.6 million people were self-employed in 2014. 83% of all employment recently was self-employment, and this trend is set to continue as we see fewer and fewer jobs. Big companies that people still think of as safe fired 1.82 million more than they hired. There has been an 8.2% fall in real earnings since 2007. Now this can be seen as good news. 80% of people hate their job, and even those who love their job do not love the idea of doing it for 40 years and find it stressful. The heart attack rate increases by 35% on a Monday morning. Sorry. This is driving even the most successful people in the corporate world to find another way. This gives rise to the new entrepreneur. The home-based business is accelerating. Most of us aren't aware of what we are capable of. Living in this world is like being handed a gift. But what we do with this life, this gift, is up to us. If you want to be happy, study happiness. If you want to be wealthy, study wealth. How many people do you think make wealth a study? Exactly, not too many. You would think, because everyone desires riches, everybody would study how to be rich. But the truth is, only 3% read the book or attend the class and choose to go the distance. If you want to be successful, you have to walk away from the 97%. Start to feed your mind with the information that will make you a fortune. The wisdom of the world is available at the click of a mouse, and an abundance of wealth is there for the taking, but you have to read the first book. You have to take the first step. Work is a large piece of one's life. Every day you wake up, ask yourself the question, if today was the last day I had on this planet, is what I am about to do what I really want to be doing? And if the answer is no, day after day after day, then you know you must commit to making a change. In the Bible it says, find a way to service the many, for service to many leads to greatness. What is it that the people need that my talent can serve? You can have everything in life you desire. Your dreams will come true if you just reach out to enough other people and help them achieve what they want. We are all born geniuses. We are all born creative. We are all born rich. When we were young, we had ideas of what we wanted to be when we were grown up. But we allowed life to push us around and the influence of others to direct our lives. We wandered into a world that was designed for us within set boundaries, and we feared to step outside of those lines because it was not seen by the many as the right thing to do. Today, you have a second chance. I stepped outside of those lines time and time again and was met with failure and sometimes ridicule. Success is not a straight line, and you will bump into the world around you. Every time you fail, you move forward. To quote Napoleon Hill, the author of the book Think and Grow Rich, which many millionaires credit for their success, he says, what does he say? He says, every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Once again, every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Now, this is a secret that the rich keep to themselves. Now you know it. Oprah Winfrey met with disappointment being being demoted from her role as a news presenter. Now, this initial disappointment created the path to an incredible career of success, becoming queen of her own media empire. Life will pull you in the direction of your dreams. Have faith and pursue what you love. Personal development is the master key. You have to become the person willing to go the distance. If you don't, you will only limit the success you are capable of. We don't get rich by demand. We don't create a better life for ourselves and our family by not pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zone. Life responds to those who deserve, not to those who need. What's the difference between the 20 million a year earner and the 20,000 a year earner? It's how they use their time. There is no excuse for time spent unwisely. The problem for people is lack of direction. It's not lack of time. We all have the same 24-hour days, but some of us get rich and others stay poor. Time is the most valuable commodity on earth. You can't get more time. The next 5 years can be completely different from the last 5. With just a few small changes on how you spend your time, you can open up your mind to the abundance of opportunity all around you and drastically change your life. The average person in the UK watches more than 4 hours of television per day. 1 hour more than they think they are watching, according to the TV licensing report. This doesn't include TV watched on other equipment like mobile or tablet devices. Also, the amount of TV we are watching is increasing. Almost 97% of households have televisions. Flat screen sales are booming. The person who says that flat screen only cost me £399 is lying. £399 is the price. That is totally different from what it will cost you. £100,000 a year is what it will cost you in wasted time sitting in front of it when you could be learning new skills and getting ahead. We are defined by what we do in our spare time. Most people try to get through the day wishing away the hours on the clock so they can sit in the front of the TV drinking a glass of wine, escaping from reality. I've had a hard day. By the time I get home, I need to relax, have something to read and get to bed. I can't stay up half the night reading and studying and working. Well, no one is suggesting that you do, but if you've got pennies in your pocket and nothing in the bank, then it's not a bad place to start. Take inventory of what you do with your time. You use your time to learn new skills, and one of those new skills is learning how to make better use of your time. The most commonly used excuse is not having the time. It's an excuse people will use instead of facing their problems, choosing to hide behind a busy schedule. Indecision is the other reason most people fail to get what they want out of life. It heads the list in the major causes of failure. Those who hesitate to take action, who wait for the right time, who put off getting started and allow minor tasks to consume their day can never expect to accumulate any wealth. It will never be the right time. This is the only time we have. You can't change the weather, you can't change the seasons. What happens, happens to everyone. It's what you do about it that determines how your life works out. It's no good wishing for a miracle because it doesn't exist. Use the laws of having strong belief and a desire to accumulate what you want from life, and you will not be disappointed. It takes courage to conquer your fears and go in search of your dreams. You must demand life to pay the price you ask. You have to prepare for success, believe in success, and expect success. A few years ago, I came across the opportunity of network marketing. It was a YouTube video with one of my favourite mentors, Robert Kiyosaki, of Rich Dad Poor Dad fame. Now, I didn't really know what network marketing was, but I began to look at this business model. I didn't know network marketing was multi-level marketing. My mum had a multi-level marketing business, and I remember being dismissive of the business model. I thought network marketing was different because Robert Kiyosaki was saying how great it is. And there's lots of other world-renowned business personalities like Richard Branson, Jamie Oliver, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, involved in or recommending this wonderful business opportunity to everyone. It is a very flexible business model, making it popular among working women and stay-at-home mums. It's also a fact that women are very good at it. 82% of the industry is made up of women. According to the Direct Selling Association, you are 5 times more likely to make $100,000 a year in network marketing than in any other, any 9-to-5 job. It's bigger than the film, music, and gaming industry combined. And it's created more millionaires than any other economic activity. It's the affordable people's franchise, and the best part of all is that it provides financial freedom and time freedom for those who are interested. It can be passed on to the next generation, unlike a job. It's risk-free, you can start part-time, work it around any commitment, and it's fun. It teaches people to become leaders that inspire others, and that is what we need in the 21st century, leaders. Encouraging people to take charge of their life and support them in achieving their dreams. We all need encouragement from others. This is what brings out the best in one another, always looking for the good in someone and helping to nurture their talent and creativity, giving nourishment to their self-esteem. Anyone can be a part of this powerful economic engine. In today's world, it is important for women to create their own financial independence. Women need to take control of their finances, and they cannot rely on anyone else to do that for them. There is a family breadwinner, which is usually the man, and the woman would stay home or get a part-time job or a full-time job, some whilst having children in childcare. You spend your lives taking care of the family and need to look at taking care of yourselves financially. Women live longer than men, but receive lower salaries. Their retirement income is less because they are not the primary earner, and there is an absence from the workforce for an average of 14 years. The corporate ladder has its limitations, and if you are 50 plus trying to re-enter the working world, it's seriously tough. According to statistics, 59% of women stay married even though they are unhappy because of financial reasons. Over 40% of marriages end in divorce, and the average age for a woman at which this happens is 42. A divorce could mean financial crisis for those who have no financial security. No one expects to get a divorce, just like nobody expects to go to a new job. It goes to a new job expecting to get fired. If you depend on a partner or a boss, you need to take action, because one day they may not be there for you. We don't realise sometimes how dependent we are on others until one day we're faced with it, at which point it is too late. Women make great leaders because they have strength in communication, empathy, clear vision, a better perspective, a mature approach, and are able to think long term. Some of the biggest business mistakes are made because of man's ego. Women are renowned for their multitasking. They tend to be methodical thinkers and logically work out and juggle the tasks ahead. My wife can cook a 4-course meal, look after our 1-year-old daughter, hold a conversation with her mother in Hungarian on the telephone, hold a second conversation with my father in English, and do the washing all at the same time. I, on the other hand, need to block out all distractions so I don't burn the breakfast. It asks the question, why women haven't done better in the corporate world. men are simply given a shove up the corporate ladder significantly more than women. Despite all evidence to the contrary, many businesses still see an inherent risk in investing in women in their 20s and 30s. A risk that doesn't exist with a man. After a woman is married, it's like a big neon light is above her head saying, don't give her any big projects, she's about to have babies. Some of the most successful businesses in the world have female CEOs, but few still recognise that not only are women capable, but they're doing it better.
Yes.
Women make up 64% of Rwandan parliament. Women are running the country. It's considered the safest country in Africa.
Yes.
Now, that is what I call a good start. Faith Popcorn, a futurist who predicts consumer trends with 95% accuracy, says not only is this the decade where women will excel, but the century. The world is better served when women start more businesses. Women make up 85% of all consumer purchases, but own only 28.7% of businesses. Now, this statistic has some interesting implications when you consider the following facts from She Economy. 59% of women feel misunderstood by food marketers. 66% of women feel misunderstood by healthcare marketers. 74% of women feel misunderstood by automotive marketers. 84% of women feel misunderstood by investment marketers. 91% of women in one survey said that advertisers don't understand them. This leads to one simple conclusion. The world needs more women entrepreneurs. The world needs you. We are all on this planet until we leave. Remembering that means you have nothing to lose. So follow your heart and do something amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Please give another round of applause to Mr. Joel. I would like to invite Mrs. Karen Mackenzie to present our small token to Joel. Thank you very much, Joel. Thank you. Wow. That was incredible. I hope you will make a note. And please feel free to throw a few questions to Mr. Joel, who will answer for my visitors. Any questions going on? Ideas?
Not all of them.
Okay, the name will be shy. Well, wait.
Maybe after Joshua.
Yeah, maybe after Joshua. Sure. Okay, we will welcome Mr. Joshua, who is the business development manager at Rwanda. Yes. He will present us, he will tell us more about what he's done. He's been helping a few businesses and embassies around the UK on developing the network, marketing network advisors in getting better time into doing what to do best with their free time in there. Please welcome George.
Wow, I'm so short. Okay. Hi. Jumbo ladies.
Jumbo.
Hi. I'm lucky to have a little time with you today, so we're going to make the most out of it if I can have your attention, please. Let me ask you a question. who would like to be financially independent? Anyone? All right, well. Now, who would like to have money coming in every single month without having to worry about bills? We all hate bills. Yes, okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Joshua Catcher. I come from a little island called Mauritius off the coast of Africa. Don't know if you heard of it. I arrived in the UK in 2004 to study travel and tourism. And I work in various places, including being an assistant financial controller for a big company. I thought at that time that was a great achievement, but I wasn't aware of my true potential. I soon realized by working in a job that a 9-to-5 job has its limitation. Okay? I was working 10 hours a day building someone else's dream. Now, I started thinking this is not the reason why I came in this country. I wanted to provide a better life for myself and for my family, and I'm sure we all try to do the same, right? In any job we turn up to, we are told what time do we have to start, what time do we have to have lunch, and also they control our holiday. Now, me, coming from a very, very far island, I want to have my holiday properly. I don't want to have 2 weeks holiday. So I started thinking, and I said, I need to do something about myself. We all look in the mirror every morning and say, we want to do this, we wish we have this, we wish we have that, but we don't take any action, we don't do nothing about it, we carry our day job, and that's where you kill your dream. Okay? So I will tell you what I do now. Joel has been my mentor, and whatever he spoke to you today, I've listened to him. And what I do today, I don't have any boss, there's no trap, there's no risk. I have money coming in every single month that keep on growing. And I don't have to worry about my customer because they're taking good care of the company I'm working with. I will explain to you in details what I do. I have actually created the life I wanted. I used to live in a house with a small room shared with thousands of people, but no, few people, and it started getting annoying. We all, when we come in this country, it's a bit hard for us when we don't have no one else to support. So I know I had to create a life for myself. And 3 years ago, I went to visit a friend who had the most stunning apartment looking over the River Thames. And I started thinking, I said, I need to have something like that. Seriously, because we all want to have like a phantom, a beautiful house, but we don't take any action to do it. So now I have created the life I wanted. 3 years after this year, I'm moving into my beautiful apartment, got the view of the River Thames. I would like to invite you to my Vandercom world. This is why I would like to invite you into. Even if it's not for you, at least you know there's another way, a better way to create the life you want. Let me tell you one thing. 99% people are more likely to buy products or services if it's recommended by a friend or somebody they can trust, right? Yeah. 85% of buying decisions are made because of word of mouth. I'll give you an example. Who knows Kevin Hart here? We all know Kevin Hart. We love his movie, right? And you go and watch a movie, and the next morning you go to talk to your friend and say, I watched that amazing movie. It was amazing. You're going to laugh all day long. I guarantee your friend will go and watch that movie the next day or very soon. Or you have a cleaning products and it removes all the stains, so you go and tell your friend about that product. I guarantee your friend when they go to the supermarket, they're going to buy the same product. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. By recommending your friend to go and watch a movie, did you get any money from the film company? No. By recommending your friend to buy the cleaning products, did the cleaning products company go and give you a thank you? Okay, now this is the magic what Vandercom does. Vandercom main products are mobiles, broadbands, telephones, and computers. Okay? It's a product that we use every single day, right? We all have mobile phones here? I'm sure if I ask who don't have a mobile phone, all hands will be down. We have more mobile phones than people in the UK, guarantee you that. Telecom and IT are recession-proof industry. Now, when I decided to be financially independent, I also have to research on the right products. I don't want to go into a product where after time it's not going to be in use. And then what do I do then? But telecoms and IT have proven it's a recession-proof. We all use them, we all need them every single day. People can't live without their mobile phone. Now, by sharing this product, you receive monthly income that keeps growing. Now, this is amazing. You get paid every single month by sharing the Vandicom products just once. Imagine working 1 hour a day and getting paid for that same hour every single month without having to work for that hour again. Now, this is amazing. Vandicom don't advertise, which is why you may not have heard of them. It's people, the network of people that receive the benefits instead of the advertising company. You can become an independent advisor working from home or anywhere else. You don't have to leave your full-time job right now. I am helping people at the moment. I'm helping my friends, my colleagues. We've got a lot of friends who cry every single day, I hate my job, but they don't do nothing about it. So now I'm teaching them what I've done. You share the products and services with friends, family, colleagues, or business associates, and you're getting paid every month. So by just sharing, when you introduce people into the business opportunity, you're part to build a network. Okay? You will get paid on your effort. Also, if you're building a team, you're asking your friend to do the same thing, you're also going to get paid on your team effort. Your team will create their own team, you will get paid on their team as well, meaning you get money growing in your bank account every single day. You give yourself a pay rise. Okay? In a job, 9-to-5 job, you have to wait for a year or 2 years to get a pay rise. This one here, you can go and get your pay rise tomorrow if you want to. Okay? The thing is, you are in business for yourself. You don't work for anyone. But you're not in business by yourself. You are supported 100%. Now, the beauty of it, 90% of the work will be done for you. Every time you introduce one customer, the company will take it over. And if that customer takes more services later, it would add on to your monthly commission. Okay? It is a business where everyone supports everyone. It is an ethical way of helping others. You can work it whenever you want. This is a special opportunity. You are in the right place at the right time if you want to create a better life for you and your family without the risk. I am now, because I've been successful in that as well, I am carry on doing it, but not only that, I am helping people to become financially independent so they can leave the rat race and not have to be dependent on a boss or anyone else, like Joel mentioned. We don't want to be dependent on somebody else to get our money. So if you would like to spend more time with your family and friends and afford a better life, and you want to work for yourself and be able to retire in 3 to 5 years. Who would like to retire in 3 to 5 years? We all want to retire. I would like to help you because I am building a business opportunity for everyone here, and it is a working proof that it is being very successful. Every rich person talk about MLM, multi-level marketing, network marketing, is where everyone needs to be if you want to be financially independent. This is a system that is so simple that anyone can do it. It's not about selling, it doesn't cost a fortune and it doesn't take much of your time. Now, if you would like to know more about the business opportunity, you're welcome to ask me any question and I'll be glad to help you. Thank you for your time.
Sorry, there is a question for you at the back. Lady has put up her hand. Could we get a microphone?
How do I start? How do I join?
We're going to be here, just come and meet us. I will talk to you and I will explain to you in detail how you can start.
What's the difference between
by pyramid scheme?
Pyramid scheme, people talk about pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme basically is illegal because pyramid scheme doesn't have a product, it's just money flowing around. This is not a pyramid scheme, this is a product that people use every single day. Okay?
I didn't hear you talk at all, but since it is about making money,
okay.
Can I start now making the money?
You can start now. I made a decision 3 years ago, and I'm not regretting it. I'm living my dream. I'm getting my dream house, and it's working for me. And for me, I come from nothing. If I can do it, I'm sure every single one can do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Could you please welcome Mrs. Santos, the spouse of the High Commissioner for Mozambique, to present you with your talk. Thank you. Now, while we wait for Toko to get ready, let's please invite our drummers from Burundi to get their certificates. Please, the line, come and collect it. Alice? Alice, head of community council,
Mugora, Arimenshi basaba ko dukundana, nuko nabona bamugora, ababandi nabo birirwa batongorera, nimukwiranye nama, nimuberanye nama, tukabifuriza tuti turacyakundana. Abantu bakuze mu kera, abanditse igipapuro. Agapapuro uzagace, uzagace, nurangiza kugasoma, agapapuro uzagace, agapapuro uzagace. Inshuti yanjye nkunda kavuga ku mutima, urambikira akaganiro kakutere ku mutima, urambura amaboko yawe zegeranye, ntubizuza inyonza. Come on,
Today has been fantastic. The speakers were wonderful. They empowered women. They sent messages of how we should, as women, progress. The most important part was about the children. One of the persons in the audience, I think from Kenya, mentioned about the voice of children, especially in sub-Saharan Africa and other parts of the world, where the children rights are not recognized, and we have to send messages to other networks and other people how the voice of the child can be heard. Thank you.
I just had like an amazing experience listening to all the things they said, and the poem I heard, it was amazing. It was actually like really emotional.
Oh, so the poem was the highlight of your day?
Yes, it definitely was. I didn't have time to watch all of it because we had to get ready and rehearse and everything, but the part I watched was great. Yeah.
So will you come back next year?
Definitely.
Oh, I like that. Thank you very much. You take care, yeah? All right. Please, lady, where are you from?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya?
Yes.
Did you enjoy your day?
It was so amazing. The organization, the people, the dancers, the speeches, and really all the ladies were here. And yes, of course, the master of ceremonies was amazing too. And the food is just something so wonderful, and I feel so privileged to have been invited to come and join this day. Thank you so very much. It's so beautiful.
And you're welcome. And we hope it will expand this sisterhood to Kenya.
Yes.
And who knows what we can do in the future.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much for your day then. Take care. We have Alice here from all the way from Newcastle, which is an honor for having you. So tell us today, how was your day, your highlight? What would you recommend? Anything. Tell us.
First of all, I thank you, all of you. I can't find the words to say thank you. It was amazing. You are very organized. Thank you for all you did. The one thing I can say is to beat you to come in Newcastle and to show us how you did this thing. Thank you very much for that.
All right, then I guess sisterhood, the next stop is Newcastle. We've been requested.
Yay!
Yes!
Yeah, I enjoyed that day. It was really nice. The topics that we studied, mostly important, how we make money, who are we as a women, and what we can do to change the world today as women and our new girls or young girls.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is good. That is good. Thank you very much.
I've really enjoyed my conference, seminar, whatever it was. And I've eaten nice African food, so I'm full up. So I've had fun, I've enjoyed the day. I've gained a lot of knowledge, and most importantly, my stomach is happy.
Okay, tell us.
Kuri uyu munsi nawishimiye cyane. Nshimiye Sisterhood Lantern badutumiye. Kuko uno munsi ni umunsi ntashobora kwibagirwa mu buzima bwanjye. Wampaye imbaraga zo kwibuka uwo ndi we. Icyo nshoboye kugeraho nk'umugore. Ntasubije ikirenge inyuma nk'uko tugira kandi by'umwihariko nkaba mvuga ngo ibintu bavugiyemo hariya amadisikuru twumvise sinzi disikuru mu kinyarwanda ni ibintu byatanze isomo ryinshi cyane itazatuma asubira inyuma. Hari byinshi byanyukije ubwana bwanjye binyibutsa koko kuba umukobwa uwo ari we, kuba umugore, kuzamuka, bitumye ngiye gutera intambwe nigisha abana n'abandi bagiye kubaka kuko nubatse ndi muto ntazi no kugira ikintu. Ngera ku mugabo ntazi guteka umuceri, noneho umugabo akambwira ati umuceri ntabwo uhiye, nturahiye, nkamwemeza ariko wawurya ukacuye. Ibyo bintu ntabwo nzabyemerera undi umwana wanjye n'undi mwana wese n'undi wese nzaruta.
Can boy and a girl are the same?
Exactly. N'umuhungu n'abahungu bose, mfite abana b'abahungu n'umukobwa. Kabisa uyu munsi n'umunsi ukomeye cyane kuri iki. Ni umunsi bishimye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It was really good. It's my first time, but it was really good.
So you will come back next time?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Would you recommend anything to us Rwanda Sisterhood, to do something maybe with the literature, or tell us?
Yeah, it's all in Africa is similar, so I learn a lot. Yeah.
Who was your key main speaker?
I don't know them. Yeah.
Oh yes, there were a lot of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they were all great, isn't it?
Yes.
I hope you did enjoy your day. Thank you.
The experience was very empowering. It gave us a lot of ideas of what we want to achieve in the future and what steps we should take. I liked each of the speeches and each of the speakers, and I took a lot out of today, and I'm excited for my future.
Oh, that's great. That's a very good message. And how about you? Who was your highlight speaker?
I would say my highlight was the personal story of the Burundi's woman who was raised in Rwanda. It was really, really touching, and I think out of everybody, she is the one who gave the most emotional speech, and it is very encouraging to see that coming from that kind of background, you can get somewhere, and she's out there telling her story to everybody to improve and achieve their goals. So it's really nice.
And how about you? Would you come back to any of our events again, Sisterhood?
Of course, yes. Yeah, we'll come back for sure and have like a gathering of women. It gives a lot of inspiration, and I admire a lot of women who were there today. It was nice.
Oh, that's brilliant, guys. And that's really what Sisterhood is about. Thank you.
We learned a lot about what we can do as women. I liked the idea of time management, of waking up and planning your day and wanting to know what you need to achieve, and I totally agree with that, because I believe that with that you can achieve a lot. You can give up your 9-to-5 day job and achieve what you want, what you're dreaming about, by putting time aside and managing your time well. I enjoyed the event, I enjoyed the speakers as well, and to close, Kitoko was amazing. Thank you.
We have Cecile here, all the way from Barbados. Tell us, what was your experience today?
Great empowerment for myself and for all the women here. It generated so much excitement and passion, and I thoroughly enjoyed the event. Yes.
What do you think today you're taking back home?
What I'm taking back home is taking control of our own lives. Not only our lives, but how we can empower other women, and that's very important. Transferring our own knowledge to others, inspiring others, just as I've been inspired today. And I think that's wonderful.
Oh my God. See, that was the purpose of this conference. I'm really pleased you did enjoy it, and I'm hoping you're going to go and do something with these.
Oh, definitely.
And then come back next time we invite you. And who knows, we could do something with Barbados.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be so amazing.
Okay.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. This has been a wonderful occasion. I wish other African countries or even other countries can celebrate Commonwealth Day in style like Rwanda has done. And what I realized was so good is the issue of diversity, even inviting the neighbors to come and even perform and entertain. I think even as a Kenyan, I'm feeling so entertained, and I look forward to challenging even the other African women elsewhere to start their own day.
Yes.
And the most interesting thing is about empowering the woman. So the issue of women being entrepreneurs and even being mothers, stay-at-home mothers, but still make money really impressed me. So thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much, and we're glad you enjoyed your day. Have a care. Bye. Now, this is coming to an end. It's been an impressive day. I am totally amazed by what we've achieved today. We've had key speakers who've really touched a lot of women's hearts. They've empowered them, they've encouraged them, and I believe this is the start of something huge. Ladies, we've done good. Now, I would like to thank all the guest speakers who've managed to come and speak to us. I'd like to thank all the women who came from all around the UK to come and participate, from all around Africa. We are united and we can do so much together. Thank you very much again, and you take care. See you next year. Thank you.